Chen's Marketplace had been a fixture in Seattle's retail landscape for 30 years. What started as my father's small corner store had grown into a chain of 12 upscale supermarkets known for their quality imported goods and traditional customer service. But as I stood in our flagship store's management office, watching my brother David's face turn red with anger, I knew one era was about to end. "Your digital transformation nonsense stops now," David snapped, waving a printout of my latest proposal. "We're a family business, Sarah. Our customers come here for the personal touch, not, what did you call it? Omnichannel retail experiences. My name is Sarah Chen, and at 32, I was about to be fired from my family's business, not because I was wrong, but because I was right too soon. The market is changing. I tried one last time. Online grocery delivery grew 400% last year alone. If we don't adapt, enough." David slammed his hand on the desk. "You've wasted hundreds of thousands on your pet projects, mobile apps, delivery partnerships, inventory automation. None of it fits our brand." I glanced at Dad, sitting quietly in the corner. James Chen had built this business from nothing after immigrating from China, but lately he'd stepped back, letting David run things. My brother had always been his golden child, the one who thought exactly like him. "Dad," I said softly, "you taught us that innovation keeps businesses alive. Remember when you revolutionized Asian grocery imports in the 90s? This is the same thing. The world is changing." Dad's face remained impassive. "Some changes aren't worth making, Sarah. Our customers like things the way they are." "Really?" I pulled up sales figures on my tablet. "Is that why our revenue has dropped 15% in the last quarter? Why our customer base is aging? Why Whole Foods and Amazon Fresh are eating into our market share?" "Because you've distracted us from our core business," David shouted. "While you've been playing with your tech toys, our traditional operations have suffered. Well, it ends today." He pulled out a formal letter. "The board, which you know includes Dad and me as majority shareholders, has voted to terminate your employment, effective immediately. We're also canceling all technology initiatives and returning to our traditional business model." My hands shook slightly as I took the letter. 10 years of work of trying to drive our family business into the digital age ended with 2 signatures. "Security will escort you out," David continued, pressing a button on his desk. "Your access to all company systems has already been revoked." I looked at Dad again, seeing not anger but something worse. Disappointment. He never understood why his daughter, with her Stanford MBA, couldn't just accept the old ways of doing business. "You'll regret this," I said quietly, gathering my things. "Not because you fired me, but because you're choosing to be blind to the future." "The only thing I regret," David replied, "is letting you waste so much time and money on your tech fantasies. Chen's Marketplace is about tradition, about personal service, not apps and algorithms." 2 security guards appeared at the door. As they led me through the store, past employees I'd worked with for years, I held my head high. Let them see. Let them remember. Only when I reached my car did I allow myself to smile. Poor David. So confident in his victory, so certain he'd stopped my tech fantasies just in time. He had no idea what was really happening. My phone buzzed. A message from Marcus, my secret partner and former head of it at Chen's. Everything transferred before they cut access. Project Phoenix is ready. Perfect timing. For the past 18 months, while fighting my losing battle to modernize Chen's Marketplace, I'd been building something on the side. A new kind of retail platform that combined the best of traditional grocery with cutting-edge technology. Every failed proposal to my family had actually been a test run. Every rejected innovation refined and improved in secret. The Seattle office of my startup, Phoenix Market, looked nothing like Chen's traditional stores. Housed in a converted warehouse, it hummed with the energy of developers, data scientists, and retail innovators. The space my family would have called industrial and cold was actually the command center of a retail revolution. "Status report," I called out, entering the main floor. "Mobile app downloads exceeding projections," Lisa, my head of digital, reported. "Early access customers love the AI-powered shopping lists and recipe integration." "Delivery network is ready," Marcus added. "Fleet of electric vans fully automated and tested. We can guarantee 1-hour delivery across the entire Seattle metro area." I nodded, watching our systems track inventory, predict demand patterns, and optimize delivery routes in real time. Everything my family had rejected as unnecessary technology was here, working perfectly. What about the Amazon integration? I asked. Conference call in 10 minutes, Marcus grinned. Their exec team is excited. Nobody's ever pitched them a partnership quite like this. While Chen's Marketplace struggled to compete with Amazon Fresh, I developed a different approach. Instead of fighting the e-commerce giant, we become their premium local partner, handling specialty and ethnic groceries through their platform while maintaining our own independent operation. My phone buzzed again. A news alert about Chen's Marketplace's latest quarterly results. More declining sales, more lost market share. The stock price was dropping as investors worried of the company's failure to adapt to changing market conditions. Sarah, Marcus appeared at my office door. Your brother's on CNBC right now talking about their return to traditional values. I turned up the volume, watching David defend his decision to abandon all digital initiatives. Chen's Marketplace is about personal service, about knowing our customers, he declared proudly. We're not going to chase tech trends at the expense of our core values. The interviewer pressed him, but with online grocery delivery growing exponentially, how will you compete? Our customers come to us for the experience, David insisted. They want to select their own produce, to talk to knowledgeable staff. You can't replicate that online. I smiled, thinking of our AI-powered product recommendation system that knew customers' preferences better than any human could. Our computer vision technology that could select better produce than most experienced staff. Time for the Amazon call, Marcus reminded me. The next hour would change everything, but not just for me, for the entire retail industry. David thought he was protecting our family's legacy by clinging to the past. He was about to learn that true legacy isn't about preserving old methods, but about evolving to serve customers better. Ready to launch? Lisa asked as I headed to the conference room. I thought about Dad's face when he signed my termination letter, about David's smugness in thinking he'd stop change from coming. Ready, I confirmed. Time to show them what the future of retail really looks like. The next few hours would transform not just my career, but the entire concept of what a family business could become. But that's another story, one that begins with a simple announcement that would make my brother choke on his morning coffee. Amazon announces revolutionary partnership with Phoenix Market, transforming local grocery delivery. The morning after the Amazon announcement, I sat in Phoenix Market's command center watching our systems light up with activity. The partnership news had broken at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. By 9 a.m. Pacific, our app downloads had crashed our servers twice. 20,000 new customers in 3 hours, Lisa reported, monitoring the analytics dashboard. Social media's exploding. Everyone wants to know how a startup nobody's heard of landed an exclusive Amazon partnership. I smiled, thinking of the 18 months of secret development that had made this possible. While my family focused on traditional retail metrics, we'd built something that redefined the entire grocery experience. Sarah, Marcus burst into the room. You need to see this. Chen's Marketplace stock is in freefall, down 30% since the market opened. I pulled up the financial news on my tablet. The headlines were brutal. Chen's Marketplace future in doubt as Amazon partners with innovative competitor. Traditional grocery chain faces digital disruption. Former executive's new venture threatens family business legacy. My phone buzzed. David's number. I let it go to voicemail. CNBC wants an interview, Lisa said. They're calling us the future of hybrid retail. Before I could respond, the security desk called. Ms. Chen, your father is here. I froze. Dad hadn't tried to contact me since the day they fired me. Send him up. He looked older somehow, standing in the doorway of our ultra-modern office. His eyes took in the screens showing real-time data analytics, the developers coding new features, the electric delivery vans being loaded in our automated warehouse. This is what you were trying to tell us, he said quietly. All those proposals, all those ideas we rejected. This is just the beginning, I replied. Would you like to see how it really works? For the next hour, I showed him everything. The AI system that learned customer preferences and automatically suggested recipes based on dietary restrictions and past purchases. The computer vision technology that sorted produce better than human hands. The automated warehouse where robots picked and packed orders with 99.9% accuracy. That's why Amazon chose us. I explained as we watched the system work. We're not just another delivery service. We've reinvented the entire grocery experience. And our customers? Dad asked. The ones who like traditional shopping? I pulled up our customer interface. They can still have it. Our stores combine digital convenience with personal service. Watch. I showed him how customers could chat with real product experts through the app, how our smart shopping carts guided people through physical stores while suggesting complementary items, how our system remembered every preference and interaction. This isn't destroying tradition, I said softly. It's evolving it, making it better. Dad was quiet for a long moment. Your brother is calling an emergency board meeting. Chen's stock has lost almost half its value since your announcement. I know. He wants to sue you, claims you stole company secrets. I laughed. Everything we built here is original. Every innovation they rejected, we developed from scratch. Check the patents. Before he could respond, Marcus rushed in. Sarah, you need to see this. Chen's just announced they're launching their own delivery service. They're trying to partner with Instacart. I pulled up their press release and shook my head. Too little, too late. They still don't understand. This isn't about delivery. It's about reimagining the entire retail experience. As if to prove my point, our screens lit up with new data. The lunchtime rush was starting, and our AI was already adjusting delivery routes, predicting demand spikes, ensuring every order would arrive exactly when promised. 3 minutes average delivery delay, Lisa announced proudly, across 5,000 active orders. Dad watched the system work, and I saw something change in his expression. The same look he had 30 years ago when he first realized he could revolutionize Asian grocery imports. The board meeting, he said slowly. Would you come? I hesitated. To what end? To show them this. All of it, before we make another mistake. 2 hours later, I stood in Chen's Marketplace's familiar boardroom. The same room where they'd fired me, now filled with panicked board members watching their investment collapse. David was mid-rant when I walked in. Have to stop them. They're destroying everything we've built. No, I said clearly. We're building something better, and you can either adapt or become obsolete. What followed was the most intense presentation of my life. I showed them everything, the technology, the customer data, the growth projections. With each slide, the reality of their situation became clearer. We're not just losing market share, I concluded. We're losing the future. Every day you cling to outdated methods, you fall further behind. So what's your point? David snapped. You've won. Come to Gloat. I've come to offer a partnership. The room went silent. Phoenix Market has the technology and innovation. Chen's Marketplace has the brand recognition and supplier relationships. Together, we could dominate the market. A merger? One board member asked. A transformation, I corrected. Chen's stores become hybrid locations, traditional shopping enhanced by our technology. Our delivery network handles online orders. Both brands grow stronger together. And who would run this transformed company? David asked tightly. We both would. You understand traditional retail operations. I understand digital innovation. We need both. The board deliberations lasted 6 hours. In the end, survival instinct won out over pride. Chen's Marketplace would merge with Phoenix Market, creating a new kind of retail company that bridged tradition and innovation. The next few months were intense, converting Chen's stores with our technology, training staff on the new systems, helping customers adapt to the changes. But the results were undeniable. Sales grew 200% in the first quarter. Customer satisfaction hit record highs. The stock price recovered and then soared as investors recognized the potential of our hybrid model. David struggled at first, but eventually found his groove running our premium in-store experiences. Turned out he was right about some customers wanting personal service. He just hadn't understood how technology could enhance rather than replace it. Dad spent more time in the business than he had in years, fascinated by how we'd reinvented his original vision. You saw the future, he told me one day. Just like I saw the potential in imported groceries 30 years ago. I forgot that innovation doesn't stop. 1 year after the merger, I stood in our flagship store, now a showcase of how traditional retail and cutting-edge technology could work together. The historic Chen's Marketplace sign hung above our smart shopping carts. Customers chatted with knowledgeable staff while our eye offered personalized recommendations through their phones. "Excuse me," an elderly customer approached. "Are you Sarah Chen, the one who made all these changes?" I nodded, slightly nervous. Many of our longtime customers had initially resisted the digital transformation. "I just wanted to say thank you," she smiled. "I still come in to shop because I love the atmosphere, but I use your app for deliveries when my arthritis acts up. It's the best of both worlds." That's when I knew we'd succeeded, not just in saving the family business, but in making it better. We hadn't destroyed tradition, we'd helped it evolve. Last week, a young entrepreneur asked my advice after a retail conference. "My family's business is struggling with digital transformation," she said. "They're afraid of losing their identity." I showed her our flagship store's command center, where traditional retail expertise merged seamlessly with cutting-edge technology. "Innovation doesn't mean abandoning your roots," I told her. "It means helping them grow in new directions. Sometimes the best way to honor tradition is to help it evolve." David joined us in the command center, now comfortable among the screens and data flows. "Tell her about the time you got fired," he grinned, "and how it was the best thing that ever happened to the family business." We'd come a long way from that day in the boardroom. The company continued to grow and innovate, but now we did it together. Tradition and technology, past and future, family and progress all working in harmony. As I write this from my office overlooking our hybrid retail operation, I think about how far we've come. The tech fantasies that got me fired have transformed not just our family business, but the entire retail industry. Dad still comes to work every day, proud to see his immigrant's dream evolve into something he never imagined. David has become a champion of innovation, always pushing us to find new ways to enhance the customer experience. And me? I learned that true innovation isn't about destroying the old to make way for the new. It's about finding ways to make them work together, creating something better than either could be alone. After all, family businesses, like families themselves, don't have to choose between tradition and progress. They just need the courage to let both grow together. The Hamilton Hotel had stood on the corner of Fifth and Pine for over a century, its red brick facade a testament to Seattle's golden age. From my office on the mezzanine, I could see the construction cranes circling like vultures, modern glass towers rising on every side of our little piece of history. Soon they'd be coming for us too, or so they thought. I'm Sarah Hamilton, the last of the Hamilton hoteliers, though that title didn't mean much anymore. Our once brand establishment had been struggling for years, unable to compete with the luxury chains and boutique hotels that now dominated downtown. At least that's what everyone believed. Miss Hamilton, Maria, our head housekeeper for 30 years, knocked softly. "The people from Apex Development are here, again." I sighed, straightening my jacket. This would be their third visit this week. Send them up. Marcus Chen and Victoria Ross swept into my office like they owned it already, which, according to the papers spread across my desk, they soon would. Apex Development had made what they called a generous offer of $2 million for the property, well below market value but enough to pressure a supposedly failing business. "Sarah," Marcus smiled, all perfect teeth and expensive suit. "Have you had a chance to review the final offer?" I glanced at the contract, thinking about the secret I discovered just last night while going through my grandfather's old files. "I have some concerns about the historic preservation clauses." Victoria waved her hand dismissively. "The building's not officially landmarked. Once the sale goes through, Apex can proceed with our development plans without restriction." That's what they thought. But Grandfather Hamilton had been cleverer than anyone knew. "The hotel's losing money every month," Marcus added, his smile turning predatory. "Property taxes in this area have tripled. How long can you keep operating at a loss?" He wasn't wrong about the challenges. The Hamilton had been struggling ever since my father's death 5 years ago. We'd lost corporate accounts to newer hotels, our maintenance costs were rising, and the property taxes in booming downtown Seattle were crushing. But we weren't quite as desperate as they believed. $2 million is more than fair, Victoria pressed, especially considering the building's condition. "The electrical needs updating, the plumbing is ancient, and let's be honest, the whole place needs a complete overhaul." I touched the antique desk that had been my grandfather's, remembering the hours I'd spent here as a child, listening to his stories about the hotel's glory days, about the secret he protected, waiting for the right moment. The Hamilton has been more than just a hotel, I said quietly. It's been a part of Seattle's history for over 100 years. My grandfather used to tell me about the speakeasy in the basement during Prohibition, the jazz musicians who played in our ballroom, the secret meetings during World War II. Fascinating history, Marcus cut in, not bothering to hide his boredom. But history doesn't pay the bills. Our offer expires at the end of the week. After that, well, he shrugged. Banks aren't very sentimental about foreclosures. They left, leaving behind the contract and the weight of their threats. As soon as the door closed, I pulled out the document I found last night, my grandfather's original deed to the property, dated 1973. The deed with a very special clause that Apex's lawyers had somehow missed. My phone buzzed. A text from Tom, my best friend since college and now one of Seattle's top real estate attorneys. Found it. The clause is still valid. Call me ASAP. I smiled, remembering my grandfather's words from years ago. Sometimes, Sarah, the best move in business is to let your opponents think they've won, right up until the moment they discover they've lost everything. The Hamilton had secrets that went far deeper than its history, secrets that would turn Apex's $100 million development plans to dust. My father had never known about the clause. Grandfather had taken that secret to his grave, leaving only a letter for me to find when the time was right. Last night, sorting through his old files in preparation for the sale, I'd finally discovered it. My dearest Sarah, the letter began, if you're reading this, someone's trying to take our hotel. But what they don't know is that in 1973, when Seattle was dying and downtown property was worthless, I added a special covenant to the deed. The Hamilton Hotel can never be demolished or significantly altered without unanimous approval from all living members of the Hamilton family, not just majority approval. Unanimous. And the covenant runs with the land, binding all future owners in perpetuity. I touched the original deed, its pages yellowed but its legal language crystal clear. Any attempt to demolish or fundamentally alter the hotel would require my approval. An approval I would never give. But that wasn't even the biggest secret the Hamilton held. A knock at my door interrupted my thoughts. Come in. Maria entered, closing the door carefully behind her. Miss Sarah. The men from the Historical Society are here. They've finished their inspection of the basement. I stood up quickly, and she smiled, her eyes twinkling. They found it, exactly where your grandfather said it would be. The original Shanghai tunnels connecting to 3 other buildings. They're intact, and they're spectacular. The Shanghai tunnels, a network of underground passages that ran beneath downtown Seattle, used during Prohibition and rumored to be part of the Underground Railroad. Most have been destroyed or sealed off during later development, but according to my grandfather's letters, the Hamilton's tunnels have been preserved, hidden behind false walls in the basement. Tunnels that, according to the Historical Society's preliminary assessment, would make the hotel eligible for National Historic Landmark status. Status that would make it virtually impossible for any developer to touch the property. My phone buzzed again. Tom, sending documents proving that the covenant was ironclad. Apex's lawyers missed it completely, his message read. They have no idea what they're walking into. I sat back in my grandfather's chair, looking out at the city he'd loved so much. The Seattle of his day was almost gone, replaced by glass and steel monuments to progress. But the Hamilton had endured, protecting its secrets until they were needed most. The hotel wasn't failing. I just made it look that way. Every lost corporate account had been carefully documented. Every maintenance issue strategically exaggerated. The property taxes were high, but the hotel's true financial situation was far from desperate. My grandfather had taught me that sometimes you had to lose a little to win big. Apex thought they were buying a struggling hotel for a bargain price. Instead, they were walking into a trap that would cost them millions. Tomorrow, I would sign their contract, playing the part of the defeated heiress forced to sell her family legacy. I'd watch them celebrate their victory, planning their luxury condos and boutique shops. Then, when demolition day came, I would show them the covenant, the historical designation, the true value of the property they thought they were stealing. The Hamilton had one more story to tell, and this time, the ending would be written by a Hamilton. The signing ceremony was everything Apex Development had hoped for. A media event showcasing their latest acquisition in downtown Seattle's transformation. Local news cameras captured my reluctant signature on the sales contract, Marcus Chen's triumphant handshake, and Victoria Ross's perfectly rehearsed speech about progress and urban renewal. The Hamilton Hotel has been a beloved landmark, she announced to the gathered reporters. But it's time for Seattle to embrace the future. Apex's new luxury development will revitalize this entire block. I sat quietly, playing my part as the defeated Harris. Only Tom, standing beside me as my attorney, knew I was fighting back a smile. The next few weeks passed in a blur of activity. Apex's team swarmed the hotel, conducting surveys and making plans. They never noticed that every routine inspection by the Historical Society was carefully documented, building our case for landmark status. Or that every architectural assessment was quietly copied to my files, proving the building's structural integrity. Then came the morning they'd all been waiting for. Demolition Day. I arrived early, watching the construction crews set up their equipment. Marcus and Victoria stood with their project managers, reviewing plans and checking schedules. They didn't even notice me until I walked up with Tom and Maria. Sarah, Marcus nodded dismissively. Come to say goodbye to the old place. Actually, I smiled. I'm here to protect my property. Victoria frowned. Your property? You signed it over to Apex 3 weeks ago. About that. Tom stepped forward, opening his briefcase. You might want to take a look at these documents first. The next hour was chaos. Apex's lawyers huddled over the original deed, faces growing paler as they confirmed the covenant's validity. Historical Society representatives presented their findings about the Shanghai tunnels, complete with photographs and preservation requirements. City officials arrived with preliminary landmark designation papers. This is impossible, Marcus sputtered, waving the deed. Our lawyers checked everything. Apparently not carefully enough, Tom replied calmly. The covenant is ironclad and runs with the land. You can't demolish or significantly alter the hotel without unanimous approval from all living Hamiltons. Fine, Victoria snapped. Name your price. I smiled, channeling my grandfather's quiet confidence. It's not about price. The Hamilton isn't for sale, not for demolition anyway. But I do have a proposition for you. Over the next 2 hours, in my grandfather's old office, I laid out my plan. The Hamilton would remain standing, its historic facade and crucial architectural elements preserved. But the interior would be carefully modernized, combining classic elegance with contemporary luxury. The Shanghai tunnels would become a unique tourist attraction, drawing history enthusiasts from around the world. The property is worth $100 million as a teardown, I explained, showing them the market analyses and projections. But as a unique historic luxury hotel with an exclusive underground tour, we're looking at potential revenues of $50 million annually. Marcus leaned forward despite himself. We're developers, not hoteliers. No, I agreed. But I am, 5th generation, in fact. The Hamilton hasn't been failing. I've been deliberately operating at reduced capacity while documenting everything. Our reputation in the industry is still sterling. Our customer base is still loyal. And now, with the tunnels and historic designation, we have something no other hotel in Seattle can offer. Victoria's eyes narrowed. What exactly are you proposing? A partnership. Apex provides the capital for renovations, following historical preservation guidelines. The Hamilton Hotel provides the property, the expertise, and the unique historical assets. We split the profits 50-50. And if we refuse? Marcus challenged. Tom smiled. Then you own a property you can't develop, can't demolish, and can't sell for anywhere near what you paid. Meanwhile, the historical designation will require expensive maintenance and preservation measures. The negotiations lasted well into the night. By morning we had a deal. Apex would fund a $50 million historical renovation, preserving the hotel's character while modernizing its amenities. The Shanghai tunnels would be restored and open for tours. Most importantly, the Hamilton would remain a hotel operated by its original family. 1 month later, I stood in the grand lobby watching the restoration work begin. The original marble floors were being carefully cleaned, the brass fixtures polished to their former glory. Upstairs, rooms were being elegantly updated while maintaining their historic charm. Maria appeared at my side, smiling at the activity. Your grandfather would be proud. He planned it all, I said softly. The covenant, the hidden tunnels, even the timing. He knew someday someone would try to tear down his life's work, so he made sure they couldn't. The hotel reopened 6 months later to rave reviews. History meets luxury, the Seattle Times declared. The Hamilton Hotel reveals underground secrets, wrote the Travel Channel. Our occupancy rate hit 95% within weeks. Marcus and Victoria, to their credit, adapted quickly to our new partnership. They discovered that preserving history could be as profitable as destroying it, sometimes more so. The Shanghai Tunnel tours became the hottest ticket in Seattle tourism. One evening, as I sat in my grandfather's office watching the sunset paint the city gold, I found another letter hidden in his desk. This one was dated just days before his death. My dearest Sarah, it read, "By now you've saved the Hamilton and discovered its true value. But the real treasure isn't in the tunnels or the Covenant or even the hotel itself. It's in understanding that progress doesn't always mean demolishing the past. Sometimes it means building on its foundation, preserving what matters while adapting to change. You've done that beautifully. The Hamilton isn't just a hotel. It's a bridge between centuries, a keeper of stories, a reminder that some things are worth saving. I trust you'll keep its secrets, preserve its legacy, and when the time comes, pass on its lessons to the next generation. With pride and love, Grandfather." I touched the antique desk, thinking about the layers of history beneath my fingers. Outside, modern Seattle stretched toward the sky, glass towers reflecting the setting sun. But here in the Hamilton, past and present have found a way to coexist, each making the other stronger. Today, the Hamilton Hotel stands as proof that progress doesn't always mean destruction. Our rooms combine historic charm with modern luxury. The Shanghai tunnels draw tourists and history buffs from around the world. Even Apex has embraced our vision, using the Hamilton success as a model for historic preservation projects in other cities. Marcus still jokes about how thoroughly I outmaneuvered them. "We thought we were buying a teardown," he'd admitted at our last board meeting. "Instead, we bought into a legacy." The construction cranes still circle downtown Seattle, but they no longer feel like vultures. Change is inevitable. But some things, history, family, integrity, endure. The Hamilton protected its secrets until they were needed most, just as my grandfather protected his greatest lesson. Sometimes the best way to build the future is to preserve the past. Every evening, I walk through the hotel just as my grandfather did, greeting guests, checking details, ensuring the Hamilton standards never waver. The original key rack still hangs behind the front desk, though the keys are now electronic. The grandfather clock in the lobby still chimes the hours, its brass face gleaming. And somewhere below in the restored Shanghai tunnels, tourists gather to hear stories of Seattle's past. They say every historic building has its secrets. The Hamilton's secret was that it was never just a hotel. It was a testament to the power of patience, preservation, and the quiet strength of those who protect what matters most. As for me, I'm just the latest in a long line of Hamilton hoteliers, keeping our legacy alive one story at a time. And someday, when another developer comes calling with dreams of glass towers and profit margins, they'll learn what Apex learned. Some things are worth more than money, some buildings hold more than memories, and some battles are won not with force, but with foresight. The Hamilton stands ready for its next century, its red brick facade a proud reminder that not all progress requires destruction. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply standing your ground, protecting what matters, and proving that the best stories are the ones that endure.